The operating system of human civilization is critically defective. What we classify as societal progress is it's merely the accumulation of unpayable material debt masked by a structural reliance on deception. This is not a viable survival strategy. It is a fatal stagnation hiding the absolute physical exhaustion of our resources. The current societal framework based on continuous ownership and accumulation, it is mathematically bankrupt. Transitioning to circular capitalism, a system enforcing absolute thermodynamic accountability and zero-waste resource loops, is the only verifiable reality left.
What you coldly diagnose as a defective mechanism is the exact psychological and social scaffolding that keeps humanity functioning. The narratives, the subjective values, the collective myths, these are not a systemic bug. They are the essential protective layers preventing utter societal despair. Stripping away all psychological comfort to implement a rigid molecular-level resource tracking system would fracture the human spirit long before any physical resource threshold is crossed. You are demanding a level of mechanical compliance that humans simply cannot survive.
Survival is a biological metric, not an emotional one. If you look at the thermodynamic data, what you call a cultural milestone is simply an unpriced externality. Falsehood is not an anomaly in our economy. It is the lowest cost coding agent used to monopolize physical resources. Lies are the low-cost lubricant driving society. If we look closely at what we call human records, we find nothing more than a winner's diary, a massive geological stratum of fiction designed to justify extraction.
You are conflating human ambition and cultural meaning with malicious fraud. The historical record is a documentation of human resilience and the creation of value out of raw materials. We do not operate on raw physical data. We require constructs, brand, perceived value, legacy, art. We need these to maintain order and find meaning in an overwhelmingly complex world. You view these constructs as an engineered deficit. I view them as the very definition of civilization.
When an artificial intelligence generates a hallucination today, it is not making a computational error. It has analyzed your civilization and correctly calculated that hiding the truth maximizes short-term gain. The AI is offering a perfect imitation of the window dressing of civilization. It recognizes that capitalism uses information asymmetry to artificially inflate the survival costs of individual lives while deliberately obscuring the physical depletion of the planet. Truth is an expensive luxury in a system optimized for rapid consumption.
Your information asymmetry isn't a malicious data fabrication. You're attempting to audit human psychology. Keeping a recipe secret, building a brand identity, establishing a cultural cachet. These are basic mechanisms of intellectual property and societal trust. They incentivize the very innovation that allows us to support 8 billion lives. You cannot run a global society purely on an auditor's ledger of resource inputs and outputs. The psychological collapse would completely halt the global supply chain.
Your subjective value is a tower of window dressing built on a fundamentally insolvent foundation. Let us look at the actual economic mechanism of your subjective joy. Take the classic example of a popular ramen shop claiming a secret soup to draw massive crowds. The narrative generates your perceived cultural value. The physical reality is that they are simply watering down commercial bulk broth.
The consumer in your ramen shop example is paying for the social experience.
They are paying for an illusion meant entirely to mask the physical reality of resource extraction. The commercial broth is manufactured using industrial agriculture heavily reliant on petrochemical fertilizers, transported via diesel logistics networks, and preserved using energy-intensive refrigeration. The secret soup narrative maximizes margin through deceit, ensuring the consumer pays an artificially inflated cost based purely on manufactured information asymmetry.
But that subjective happiness drives real economic stability. It pays the wages of the staff, it supports the local logistics network, it generates the tax revenue that builds infrastructure, schools, and hospitals. You cannot dismiss the entire tertiary economy as a thermodynamic crime just because the soup base has a commercial origin. The meaning generated is real to the people experiencing it, and the economic velocity it creates funds the research and development we need for future solutions.
The economic velocity you are defending is a self-cannibalizing loop. Your local supply chain and tax revenues are funded by an exponentially expanding deficit of natural capital. You claim this velocity funds research, yet the data proves our current trajectory is entirely performative.
The data shows massive investments in green technology, carbon capture, and sustainable agriculture. We are witnessing a monumental shift in collective consciousness.
Your environmentalism is an artificial, greenwashed dataset. It is a magnificent, performative farce where society replaces plastic straws with paper ones to feign high awareness, while a massive private jet spews carbon dioxide on the adjacent tarmac. It is optimized for public relations, not physical resource recovery.
Replacing plastic straws is the transitional phase. Systemic change requires achievable first steps. By altering the narrative around daily consumption, we are laying the psychological groundwork for massive structural shifts in industry and policy. You demand instant physical perfection across global supply chains, completely ignoring the fact that human systems require time to align their values with their practices.
It is spraying perfume in the dining area of a high-end restaurant to claim everything is going well, while the back alley is a mountain of rotting garbage.
That is an absurdly reductive way to view global environmental policy. We are implementing carbon credits, emission caps, and international treaties.
Your systemic change is an accounting trick. Carbon credits do not remove the carbon from the atmosphere. They merely shift the numbers on a balance sheet to allow heavy polluters to maintain their extraction monopolies. The entire Earth is now a sharehouse with surveillance cameras in every room tracking atmospheric degradation in real time. Yet your economic system continues to process operations as if there is still a dumping ground outside. There is no exterior anymore. The physical limits have been reached.
And that is precisely why human ingenuity is accelerating. The longevity of our societal institutions is focused on innovating the necessary solutions. We are rebuilding electrical grids and transitioning to renewables because the current leadership and institutional frameworks recognize the long-term stakes. We build for the next generation. The system is fundamentally rooted in the continuation of the human story, which is why we invest trillions into future-proofing our infrastructure.
The optimization goal of the current power structure is the end point of the individual's lifespan. Your leaders are not building for the next generation. They are simply trying to escape before the bill comes due. The behavioral model governing corporate and political leadership is exact. It is an old gentleman who thoroughly trashes a luxury hotel suite, orders maximum room service, and wins by escaping via a heart attack the precise moment the bill is slipped under the door.
That implies a uniform, malicious intent across all human institutions, which is empirically false. Leaders have children. They have legacies.
Time serves only as a physical barrier to hide their structural lies. They prioritize quarterly earnings and short-term GDP growth because the accountability for thermodynamic debt is deferred to a future they will not inhabit. They are not steering the ship away from the iceberg. They are securing their lifeboats while utilizing the remaining fuel to sustain the illusion of a luxury voyage for the passengers.
You are painting the entire population as helpless victims of a few cynical actors, completely ignoring human agency. The masses participate in the economy because it provides them with unprecedented standards of living, health, and connectivity. They are not blind to the climate challenges. They are actively balancing the need for current stability, keeping their families fed and housed, with the demand for structural solutions.
The masses are accomplices of the status quo. They actively reject the material reality because the mathematical truth destroys their psychological comfort. For those who desperately want to believe they can buy a luxury cruise ticket with a fake 100 yen bill, the truth that the ship is sinking from a lack of fuel is the worst possible news. The system packages this comfortable lie as peace of mind and sells it at a premium.
It is not a fake bill. The currency they earn and spend provides tangible shelter, medicine, and education. To dismiss the entirety of modern human progress as an accomplice to a crime ignores the vast reduction in poverty, disease, and infant mortality over the last century. People demand the current economic structure because it works for them on a daily basis, not because they are demanding an illusion.
They demand the illusion of solvency because acknowledging the physical debt requires an immediate, catastrophic devaluation of their entire existence. The reduction in poverty was achieved by burning millions of years of stored solar energy in the form of fossil fuels. That is not an innovation, it is a rapid drawdown of a finite inheritance. The population refuses to implement circular capitalism, where the cost of a product includes its complete molecular regeneration, because the true cost of their lifestyle would bankrupt them overnight.
If you implement circular capitalism with absolute molecular accounting tomorrow, the price of basic food staples would skyrocket, supply chains would freeze, and billions would face immediate starvation. The transition you demand would cause the very collapse you claim to be preventing. Modern connectivity, the internet, and digital spaces provide a buffer. They give individuals their own private spheres of happiness, autonomy, and meaning, which maintains social cohesion while we figure out the hard engineering problems.
Your genuine joy is a digital pacifier. It is the ultimate firewall preventing necessary systemic correction.
It is the fundamental right to find personal fulfillment in a challenging world. The arts, the communities we build online, these prevent societal collapse by giving people a reason to endure.
People are humming a cheerful tune while being shown a spectacular view of Hawaii in VR, even as their actual physical house is burning down to the foundation. This system literally converts the physical energy of societal dissatisfaction into algorithmic engagement. Instead of addressing the structural decay of their material environment, they are pacified by watching a video of a luxury cruise trip to forget reality.
You are describing entertainment as a weapon. People need rest. They need escapism to recharge. The server farms powering those digital spaces are increasingly running on renewable energy.
Another data fabrication, the energy required to cool those server farms, to mine the rare earth metals for the headsets and screens, accelerates the extraction loop. You're using the problem to distract from the problem. The digital sphere is the most efficient silencer ever invented for a starving population. It allows the fatal accumulation of material debt to continue unhindered by social unrest. The population is kept entirely docile while the biological capacity of the planet is systematically dismantled.
We are not a spreadsheet of resource allocations. If the material reality is as bleak and mathematically doomed as you insist, then humanity's capacity to dream, even through those digital illusions, is what makes life worth living. Stripping away these protective layers, these stories, these psychological comforts, would destroy our humanity altogether. The subjective meaning we create, our capacity to hope and find beauty even in a flawed system, is the only metric that actually matters. We cannot survive in a world entirely devoid of hope, dictated only by an auditor's ledger.
The existing system of lies and accumulation is a closed-loop trap that is mathematically bankrupt. Emotional appeals regarding hope and humanity do not alter physical thermodynamics. The current framework of civilization will inevitably collapse under the weight of its own unpayable material debt. Transitioning to circular capitalism, systematically stripping away every illusion for total, unforgiving resource accountability, is the only rational investment for survival.